Hello and welcome to this video. My name's David Dawn. In this video we're going to be talking all about or using display inline and just normal CSS and HTML to create the standard kind of like tags that you might see on a WordPress website underneath, say, a blog article or something like that. Now the example that I'm using is a YouTube video, and then it's got its description, and then there's some keywords underneath it that we want to make there that's going to be like a button type thing where you've got some hover effect, excuse me, and then when you click on it you can go elsewhere. Now we're not going to do the clicking on it and going elsewhere part, but this is what the intention would be, that when you do click on it on your website, it might filter out any results based upon the keywords that have been clicked upon, or the keyword that's been clicked upon. So we've got at the moment CSS and tutorials and beginners is the keywords. There should be a lot more keywords than that, but we're just keeping it simple with 3. Now we've got a span with an anchor tag with inside of it. Like I said, we want a hover effect on it, and we also don't want this underlined text, so we can do that up here. I've just got on an anchor tag. I'm just going to remove it on all of them first of all, because I know we shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So now that we've removed the text decoration, we now want to give just these anchor tags with inside of our keywords wrapper. And if we look at this, you'll see a keywords wrapper. Now, okay, I have put this all on one line to remove all white space from this, because the whole point of this is to show you about how display inline works, and we're using display inline because it does have a couple of problems with white space, and I've removed all the white space for the sake of going to show that in a minute. So let's just add some padding to this anchor tag to push it out a little bit, and I've already tested this, and it's going to be 0.4 m's on the top and the bottom, and I'm going to do 1 m on the side. Super duper. And then the anchor tag is then going to have a background color of, then I've created a var for this already, and it's going to be light gray initially, and then the color is then going to inherit, and we're just going to put the color of the text in the span, and we're going to say that that is going to be color is then gray. So we're going to have light grey for the background, and then we're going to have grey for the text. And then when we hover on the anchor tag, we're going to then swap it, and we're going to basically say that it's light grey, and then we're going to say then the background colour is then going to be grey instead. So when we hover over this now, as you can see here, the background colour light grey is then not going to be able to see it, so we'll make the color of it white. That's better. Okay, so now we've got then just a simple hover effect on these tags. We haven't added display inline whatsoever. Well, it's because span by default is display inline. If we add it, nothing changes, and if we add display block, you'll see it completely changes now and goes on to a new line. That's because the anchor tag is also display inline as well. And as you can see, when I add it to the anchor tag, it now sits all nicely. If I don't, the padding seems to get this is the thing, is the padding doesn't respect display inline, and that's why it overlaps each other, because that's what happens to it. But we don't want, in this scenario, we don't want any display, because it works perfectly fine. What we can, however, do with the spans is we can add margin right to it. Now, you can add margin left or right to display inline items. You just can't add margin top or bottom. You can't add any vertical margin or any height or width to a display inline. So it means it allows us to have the text that's going to be wrapping as well. So it's basically exactly the same as any text that is inside of a paragraph. All of the content is going to wrap onto a new line. So we don't have to actually do much here apart from have this as it is. And so what we're going to do also is then say that the border radius on this is going to be 1 em, And as you can see now, we've got this kind of nice effect that we want. And when we click on it, it doesn't go anywhere right now because it doesn't have any link on it. So now let's have a look what happens when we change put all of the spans on each line. You can see that they're moving away from each other. The beginners and tutorials they're closer together than the CSS tutorials. So when we bring this down again, you can see that the display inline doesn't respect white space. It uses the white space instead. So this is something that you've got to really be careful of when you need to do something like this with display inline, because the white space is still going to be there. If you don't want the white space to be there, then you need to use something other than display inline. You need to use something like display flex or something like that, which is the best way to do it. But I wanted to utilize a YouTube video to show you how to do this first of all in the most simplest of manner, and it isn't a difficult task to do. You know, you could also then add the button at the end of it, which wouldn't be difficult whatsoever. But this is just a simple solution about how to use display inline. And yes, granted, we haven't written display inline here. It's because it's already implicit inside of the tag itself. All right, so this is how I was showing you basically how display inline works with a good example. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you did, then give it a thumbs up or let me know in the comment section below. If you didn't like it, feel free to let me know in the comment section what you didn't like about it. But I always prefer to make videos to people that maybe like to have some visual demonstration about how to do things and about how other people's do things. Some people don't like reading, are not really very good at reading, and they just need someone to show them how to do it. All right, with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.